Once upon a time, there was a man named Elias. He was an ordinary guy living a simple life, but one day he decided he needed more than just to survive. He wasn't chasing material wealth or social media fame. What he truly longed for was a real connection, a gaze that saw straight through him, a woman who understood his soul. And for that, he first needed to understand the language of the heart. For years, Elias had struggled with love. He'd use empty phrases, repeating cliches he heard in TV shows or popular songs. But none of it ever worked. Then, one day amidst his routine, he stumbled upon an old book on Stoic philosophy. Within its pages, there were no promises of quick conquests or magic formulas. Instead, there was something far more valuable, a deep understanding of human nature, and that changed his life. It was then that he realized that to truly touch a woman's heart, flowers or expensive gifts weren't enough. Women, much like conscious men, desire words with purpose, sincerity, and emotional presence. This is how he uncovered 3 truths that would stay with him forever. Lesson 1. The phrase that shows presence. I'm here with you, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be. This wasn't a rehearsed line. It was a declaration of intent. Elias learned that women can feel when you are truly present, not just with your body, but with your soul. This simple phrase doesn't promise the moon, but it shows that she is, in that moment, the center of your universe. Because what truly melts a woman's heart isn't the grandness of the gesture, but the authenticity of the surrender. In an age of distraction, giving your complete attention is a divine gift. Lesson 2. The phrase that acknowledges her essence. You don't need to change anything to be wonderful, you already are. We live in a world that constantly demands women be more, prettier, thinner, more successful. Elias understood that often what a woman needs to hear isn't how she can improve, but that she is enough just as she is. Saying this isn't giving in to complacency. It's seeing with the eyes of the soul and valuing what is invisible to others. When a woman feels unconditionally accepted, she flourishes. And a flourishing soul is the most beautiful thing you can ever experience. Lesson 3. The phrase that creates a future. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but if you're in it, that's enough for me. This phrase is born from the humility of the present moment. Elias stopped making eternal promises. Instead, he offered his daily commitment. It wasn't about controlling the future, but about building it step by step with the person who inspired him. Women don't want fantastical guarantees. They desire truth. And when they see a man who chooses to stay day after day, even without fairy tale promises, they feel at peace. True love doesn't need vows, it needs presence, respect, and direction. And so, Elias was no longer the same man, not because he'd memorized magic phrases, but because he understood the value of every word spoken from the heart. Even more, he understood that to win a woman over, he first had to conquer himself, to master his emotions, live with purpose, and honor with words what his soul truly felt. Stoic philosophy didn't teach him to manipulate, but to understand. It showed him that control isn't in the other person, but in his reaction, his attitude, his serenity. And so from his newfound awareness, Elias no longer sought love to fill voids, but to share inner abundance. And if you, reading this, also want to learn to speak from the soul, remember it's not about perfect phrases, but about true intentions. But there's something else Elias understood, something that changed his way of loving forever. He discovered that many times we search for phrases to win someone over, but we forget that true power lies in inner transformation. Words only have power when they come from a peaceful mind and a full heart, and that doesn't happen overnight. Being stoic isn't about being cold or distant. It's about self-mastery. It's knowing when to speak and when to be silent. It's not depending on external approval to know your worth. And when a man reaches that point, when he can offer his love without begging for attention, he becomes magnetic, irresistible, not because of what he says, but because of who he is. Women, just like conscious men, feel that. They know when someone comes to add, not to consume. And that's where true connections are born. So if you're here because you want to fall in love, remember, first fall in love with the best version of yourself, and let your words simply be the reflection of a balanced soul. Wisdom Masters isn't just a channel. It's a space to grow, heal, and learn to love with wisdom. Subscribe, share this message, and walk with us towards a more fulfilling life. Because true power lies within.